All right, hey guys, what's happening? I'm Anthony Renna, founder of 50 for 50, the 50-day body transformation challenge for men in their 50s, which is live right now. You can sign up for the next challenge. The next challenge starts on July 1st, but we have some early bird bonuses. So if you sign up before July 1st, okay, so it starts on July 11th. If you sign up before July 1st, that's, what is that, Friday, you get one additional challenge called 50 More, so that'll be starting in September. And you'll get a 20-minute private goal setting call with me. So basically, we go over any kind of goals or modifications, things you can change within the program. So this is, for today, gaining mobility, sneaking it in. And for me, I'm not a big fan of doing mobility work. Okay, and and I found that with a lot of my clients, the same idea, and so I've always tried to find ways to sneak it in. So I'm going to expand on, and mobility was the fourth upgrade in the PDF. 6 upgrades every man in his 50s needs to make to transform his workouts. And so, if you haven't downloaded the PDF, you can click on the link below in the description and you can get that. So, in that PDF, I mentioned or I defined mobility as the ability to move or walk freely and easily. And that's critical for functioning well and living independently. Now, look, if you talk to people in the fitness industry, they might have a problem with that definition because most people will say, no, you need to split it up. Flexibility and mobility are not the same thing. We need to define it, right? Flexibility is defined as the ability of a muscle or muscle groups to lengthen passively through a range of motion, whereas mobility is the ability of a joint to move actively through a range of motion. Blah, 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 right? I mean, look, I just want you to move better and without pain and to be able to do things you want to do. So I kind of throw a whole blanket over the whole thing, mobility and flexibility. So, in our program in 50/50, we use movements that are going to make you more flexible and, make you more mobile. So now in the video that I linked to the PDF, Yoga Schmoga, 4 stretches you can do at your desk, I shared 4 stretches you can do in your chair to increase mobility in your hips and your upper body. So you can check that out on YouTube. It's also linked into the PDF. But for this one, I'm going to go over 3 ways to sneak in your mobility to get the most out of that mobility training. So micro mobility, the first one is micro mobility sessions during the day. All right, so this is what I talked about. In the PDF, I gave you the 4 stretches, right? And in fact, right now I'm doing one of the stretches. So you can't see it, but I am doing the figure 4. So I put my right ankle, I already switched. I had my left ankle on my right knee, and I kind of pushed down a little bit to kind of get some really good, nice stretch through that hip, through that glute. And I'm actually going to do, right now, I'm just moving to the half kneeling stretch. Let me see if I can just kind of show you. The half kneeling would be like where you're on one knee here and that other knee is forward, right? That's half kneeling. So, but I'm going to do that right now while I'm talking to you. And that's kind of the point is, look, you don't need these big, long sessions. You don't need to go to the gym. You don't need to even go on the floor all the time, right? So I'll try to do these things I'm going to do the other side now, different, times in the day, and I'll take like anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes to go through each. So that's the micro mobility sessions throughout the day. So, look, it's not sexy to talk about consistency, right? Nobody wants to hear about that. But that's really where the magic happens. The more consistent you can do, the more consistent you can be, and just kind of moving throughout the day, you'll feel better. All right. So another way we do it is to do your rest periods. Do mobility work in your rest periods at the gym. Now, this is my favorite time to do it because it kills 2 birds with one stone. First, we never get enough rest between sets. We sit around, we get impatient, we're like, let's go again. And that's not really good. So by focusing on some timed mobility work, so let's say I did that half kneeling stretch, do 1 minute on the right side, 1 minute on the left side, focus on breathing, and you'll make that rest period, it'll be now the appropriate time, 2 to 3 minutes. And obviously it's going to be more efficient. So it just kind of gives you something to do within those rest periods. That's how we do it at 50 for 50. We do what I call the big 4 cardio restore. It's 4 big exercises, 4 push-pull, 2 leg exercises, cardio for a minute, like a medium-paced cardio, and then we do the restore part, which is a stretch. So we'll alternate and do anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes. So. And then when you're watching TV before bed, great time to do mobility work. I really like to take the foam roll out at night and roll out for about 5 or 10 minutes while I'm watching a game, and then I'll do a couple lower body stretches. Personally, for me, that's what I do because I do a lot of walking with the ruck on my back and a lot of weight, and so my lower body does get pretty tight. So I try to get work done on my calves, my feet, my hips. By doing a few static and dynamic stretches, while the game's on. I'll actually do that with cardio too. Like the Stanley Cup was on recently, and like I play games. Like either I'll do the first 10 minutes on the bike, just as steady state, and then I'll take like another 10 minutes every time, let's say the whistle blows. I'll try to go hard for 10 seconds, and then I'll take a break. I'll just kind of go easy. Whistle blows, and I'll do that for like a period or something. So I just kind of mix it up. It's just, I don't really consider that my cardio. I just kind of I always consider that extra. So, but I feel like it's, the mobility work is really good to do at night because, first of all, there is some evidence that your body's a little bit more warmed up as you go on the day. So how when you wake up and it takes a while to kind of get going, but I feel like you can get into those positions a little bit easier at that time. And another reason, it's a great way to wind down before bed. So I think that's an added bonus because obviously sleep is so important. But those are the 3 ways to sneak your mobility in. Micro mobility sessions during the day, during your rest periods at the gym, and then while you're watching TV before bed. So one question I do get a lot is like, what's better, static or dynamic? And I think both have a place. So I'm going to say make sure you do both of them. But at the end of the day, I want to look at what the goal is. Like if we're doing it in the warm-up, right? I would start with static and move to dynamic because our goal is to prepare our body to move, right, for what we're going to do. We're going to work out. So I think ending that little warm-up with this dynamic movement would be more beneficial. And then the static stretches might be better after a workout to kind of wind down, or before bed, like I talked about. And I think that that's going to bring you into what's called a parasympathetic state, and that's the rest and digest state. So most of the questions that we get really can be answered with what's the goal, of course, but we have to figure that out first to come up with the best answer for us. So at the end of the day, really it's the ones that you're going to do on a consistent basis, going back to consistency. So what can I do to get you to practice some more mobility? Really on a daily basis. We're in our 50s, guys. It's just something that we need to kind of keep doing. So if you have any questions, let me know. Don't forget, we are live. 50/50 is live. And it starts on July 11th. But if you sign up before July 1st, you're going to get that one additional challenge, 50 more, which starts in September. And then you'll get the 20-minute private goal setting call with me. Altogether, it's about a $400 value. So if you have to do that before July 1st, though. Any questions? Let me know.